A lot of question marks for the Lady Vols as they lose their second game to a ranked opponent. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Slasher U. I'm your host, Christian Rao, here with my co-host, Steve Feck, and we're going to break down the game from Indiana against Tennessee. The Lady Vols falling once again, moving to 1-2 with the loss against the Hoosiers, 79-67. And Steve, this is a team that we thought was going to be fantastic at the beginning of the season. I mean, there's still a lot of hope. It's still early in the year, but is it time to be concerned? Is it time to panic for Tennessee?
When you're as deep and talented as the Volunteers are, I don't know that you panic. Okay, they did have a key part of their roster out for another game here, but you have to wonder, do those voices grow a little bit louder the deeper we go into what's going to be a pretty challenging non-conference schedule? Because now if you're sort of in a hole a little bit, you're not going to get any breaks in conference play. It's not the A-Sun or the Sun Belt. It's the SEC. So I think you can be concerned. I haven't seen a lot of panic talk among volunteer fans and people blog or write about them. I mean, they're concerned. They're like, well, what's happening? What's wrong? But I don't really hear any desperation yet. And that's where I kind of look to. If you have a fan base that starts saying, oh my God, yeah, maybe the sky is not falling, but it's getting kind of foggy. It's kind of, the clouds are coming closer to the ground. So I think that might be the best litmus test when we're talking about Tennessee. But also, you got to give credit to their opponents. And Indiana was unbelievable. I can't wait to see how far they're going to jump in the next poll come Monday.
Yeah, I believe you. I think they're going to jump quite a few. I wouldn't be surprised if they're at least in the top 7 when all said and done. There were some good hopes for Lady Vols at least. I mean, they saw three women getting double digits, and it was led by Rakia Jackson. I mean, she is absolutely fantastic. Yeah. We are seeing some great play from her.
Yeah.
She's leading the team with 16.7 points per game, 7.7 rebounds per game. She's looking really good. There's some bright sides on this team. Once they get it all together, I think they'll be able to figure it out. They do have to play Rutgers this week, and that shouldn't be the easiest task. They are 2-1. They are a tough team to play. I don't think it's going to be as tough as an Ohio State or Indiana, don't get me wrong, but another team that they can't just walk away from. They have to play some good basketball. They do have still some harder non-conference games coming up in December with Virginia Tech, and they do play Stanford as well. Tennessee's got a lot of work to do in my mind, and it's crazy to see that we saw them as the 5th-ranked team in the nation going in the preseason, and we might see them drop out of the top 25 after this loss this week. A 1-2 team. I know that it's 2 ranked opponents, but if they do make it, I mean, it's going to be right at the 25 spot in my mind, Steve. But they have a lot of work to do here. Again, Saturday at noon, they're going to take on Rutgers in the Bad Boy Mowers battle for Atlantis. This should be a really good matchup. Then they finish the month hosting both Colorado and Eastern Kentucky. They got to get 3-0 through November. I would assume that they got to finish November at 5-2.
Yeah, I don't want to say you catch a break playing Rutgers on a neutral court, but you didn't want to have to go into the rack and play them. That was Rutgers is a dangerous team when they're playing at home. They're a good team overall, but I mean, when they're playing at home, I mean, they're virtually unbeatable. It'll be interesting to see. I would be shocked if they fell out of the top 25. Again, right. I mean, if they're a 2-loss team, I understand. Now, if they really falter against Rutgers, then you need to take a look at it, because there's a lot of women's programs that are not in the top 25 yet that are actually showing, they're sort of like, hey, look at me, we're good too. So that could be a dynamic that happens. But I think come the end of the season, the Volunteers are going to be there, as far as competing in the SEC. It's just a rough patch. Like you said, Rakia Jackson, man, I mean, it just shows you where the transfer portal really can transform a player. Right. She was a good player at Mississippi State. She is a great player so far for Tennessee. So for all of the drawbacks to the transfer portal, an opportunity like this, and Raquel saw that and saying, I think I can play in this system. I can play with these players, and she's certainly demonstrating that. And I mean, good for her. I mean, I'm really happy that she took the chance. She went to Tennessee, and it's paying dividends for both Tennessee and herself personally.
As for Indiana, they do move to 3-0, and we do believe they're going to probably be in the top 8, maybe 7 when the new rankings come out. They do take on Thursday night unbeaten Bowling Green. You think 5? That's a good call. They do take on unbeaten Bowling Green at the end of the month. They do host or they do go to the Las Vegas Invitational to take on Auburn and Memphis. So it should be a pretty good month to watch some Indiana women's basketball as well. Biggest thing to take away here, though, I still think a lot of concerns for the Lady Vols. We're going to pay attention to that closely as SEC play. But Indiana getting the win, moving to 3-0, 79-67 over Tennessee.